Hi, welcome back to the channel on the college process. Once again, I'm Ed from Principia Prep. And today we're going to be going over how quitting your job affects financial aid and the differences between you being laid off versus you resigning. But before we begin, if you are new to the channel and are looking for additional college content, please hit the subscription button down below. It will notify you of new videos when they do come out. As well as if you have any questions throughout today's video or any questions in general about the financial aid process, please ask us your questions down below in the comment section. If you notice from our other videos, we answer all the questions you guys leave down below. As well as if you do enjoy today's video, please leave us a like. It does help the channel. Now, before we get into today's topic, just want to notify everyone watching today's video, we do have a scholarship fund available for this year's senior class 21-22. I have the link down below in the description, the James Russo Memorial Scholarship. If you want to be eligible for the scholarship, please watch the video down in the description once again. The James Russo Memorial Scholarship, it will give you the information and directions you need to basically make your school and yourself hopefully eligible for the James Russo Scholarship available for this year's 21-22 senior class. Now, that being said, let's jump right into today's video, how quitting your job affects financial aid and the differences between you being laid off versus you resigning. Now, if you've been watching the news or if you've been reading articles online, you've noticed that a lot of people have been letting their jobs go and or looking for better quality jobs or higher paying jobs, so on and so forth. That's been making it very difficult for a lot of employers to keep their employees in place. Now, that being said, let's discuss what happens, or essentially what the differences are in the world of financial aid and how they look at you if you resign versus if you're let go. Now, right off the bat, to illustrate this, I'm going to put you guys into three different categories here. Now, category number one will include people that have resigned and or have retired of their own will. Category number two will be people that are considering resigning or retiring. And then category number three are individuals who have been let go, either because the company essentially just shut down or essentially the company just let the individuals go. Now, I'm going to go through each one of these groups and illustrate the way the financial aid office looks at you, as well as things that you should be considering as you're going through this process. Now, right off the bat, category number one, group number one, essentially, the people who've already quit their jobs or essentially went into retirement of their own doing. A lot of people think, well, if I quit my job or if I retire and obviously my income drops down a lot, then I'm going to be eligible for a lot more financial aid eligibility or a lot more financial aid grants and so on and so forth, a lot more free money to help us pay for the college cost. The way the financial aid office looks at you, unfortunately, is not as good as if you were let go, believe it or not. In the world of financial aid, a lot of financial aid offices, if you yourself elected to not go to work or quit your job, or you yourself elected to essentially retire from that position that you were in, the way the financial aid office looks at you is that you had the choice to stay in that job. I know many people don't want to hear that, but the reality is that's the way the financial aid is going to look at you. So for the school to be able to provide you additional funding based on a job loss or based on an income drop, one of the things they're going to ask you to do is a process called verification, or essentially also known as a financial aid appeal. And in that financial aid appeal, they're going to ask you, why are you appealing the financial aid you already have, whether it's a job loss, medical issue, death in the family, divorce, separation, etc. They're going to ask you specifically, why are you appealing? In that category of why you're appealing, when you indicate that there's a job loss, they're going to ask you, was it you who made the choice to basically give up the job or retire, or was it essentially the company that let you go? Now, many colleges, unfortunately, if you say that you elect essentially that you chose to basically retire and or give up that job, they will not consider your financial aid appeal. So they will not consider the income drop for at least one academic year, essentially. So if you're appealing for more aid for the upcoming school year, unfortunately, the school will not provide you assistance in many cases. Now, if there was reasons behind you letting the job go, such as a hostile work environment or not a safe work environment because of COVID and everything else going on, then I would definitely push that narrative. You want to make it, if you had to let your job go for whatever reason, you want to provide them with specific substance. And the substance just cannot be, you didn't feel like going to work anymore. That can't be it. It has to be something more concrete. It was a hostile work environment. It was unsafe because of COVID. Things like this you can utilize to help your cause. If you don't, and that school denies your claim, that's the reason they're denying your claim, by the way, is because you chose to leave the job. You chose to go into retirement. So obviously for group number one, if you did leave your job and you are looking to do a financial aid appeal and ask for more money from the financial aid office as far as more financial aid consideration, you definitely want to make them aware that this is the reason I left. Not just because you didn't feel like going to work or didn't want to be there anymore. Give specific, concrete reasoning. Now let's talk about group number two, those who are thinking about letting go of their job or those who are thinking about retiring. Now, obviously for you guys, you're in the same boat. Before you look to do so, I would obviously, number one, look to do the school's net price calculator. See what happens based on that price calculator if you do lose your job or if you do let your job go. Go on to Google or watch our video here about the net price calculators and how they work, and then basically do that school's net price calculator. And then number two, also make sure that you guys have something in place to indicate to the financial aid office once that job is let go that you had to let go of that job based on either cause, as I mentioned in group number one, or the fact that you were forced to retire is also another good thing to kind of consider, such as they offered you a plan to retire or they were going to let you go, or they offered you a package essentially for whatever reason that the company was bought out, or the company itself is looking to go in a different direction, no longer needing your position, so you're essentially forced to retire. Remember, for group one and group two, you want to give them cause for the reason that you left or you retired, so that way they can't use it against you for financial aid appeal consideration. And then group number three, the last group here, the people that were let go from the job, whether because of pandemic or COVID, or whether because the company went under, or whether because the company was going in a different direction, just let you go, whatever the cause was. For you guys, you are in a different situation than if you let your job go yourself or resigned or you retired. If you were let go by the company, you have a lot more options here to be able to appeal and ask for financial aid consideration. Now, if you want to figure out how much that college can give you, same situation I told group number two, go on to Google or watch our video here about the net price calculators and how they work, and then basically do that school's net price calculator. By doing the school's net price calculator, what you're doing in group number three is you're preparing yourself to know what's going to happen with that income drop and how much that school can help you. And also another factor to consider for groups 1, 2, and 3, because of the law changes and everything else that was able to be done because of COVID and the pandemic and so on and so forth, a lot of people were able to collect unemployment, whether they let their job go of their own free will or they would let go by the company. Now, under the CARES Act, a couple of things that the government passed over the pandemic timeframe was that unemployment itself, for many cases, is not going to be counted fully as income, which is a big benefit for you guys for financial aid, those seeking financial aid assistance. Also, another big thing that many families were not aware of, in the world of financial aid, if you do collect unemployment, or if you were receiving unemployment, or if you're still receiving unemployment, many colleges are allowed to not count the unemployment, which is something they were supposed to count pre-pandemic. So now the schools are given more leverage, more opportunities, more ability through professional judgment to not count your unemployment towards your income sources. Which means, obviously, if you would let your job go or you were let go and you're collecting unemployment, the benefit here is that essentially, if you got that unemployment, it doesn't take the place of the income you had there before. Which obviously means you can use that unemployment to obviously sustain yourself without it counting against you for financial aid consideration. It's something the U.S. Department of Education had put in place to essentially help families throughout the pandemic situation. So for all three cases, I would be looking at that and illustrating my point because of this to the financial aid office that yes, I am getting unemployment possibly, but the U.S. Department of Education has indicated you don't have to count it. Now these are the different factors, so obviously once again, if you did leave your job of your own free will or you retired, obviously look to have a reason why to explain to the financial aid office if you're doing an appeal for more financial assistance that there is cause for you letting that job go. Second, if you are considering letting your job go, first obviously do the net price calculators, figure out what that school will be able to do if you leave your job or you retire and how it will affect your financial aid assistance. And the third group, if you did lose your job for whatever reason, please definitely look to do an appeal because many financial aid offices will be very helpful even if you did or are receiving help from unemployment. Now that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please leave us a like. It does help the channel. Any questions you have, once again, please leave comments down below. We do answer all the comments you guys leave down below if you watch any of our other videos. As well as if you want to be part of the scholarship initiative for this year for the James Russo Memorial Scholarship, please just check out the video in the description down below is the video for the James Russo Memorial Scholarship. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching. On the screen is our contact information. If you have any additional questions or you need help throughout the financial aid process or even the admissions process, please give us a call or shoot us an email. We also have a newsletter that goes out every month. If you want a copy of the newsletter, all you do is email us letting us know what high school you're from, as well as the grade level, because the newsletters are grade specific. And other than that, once again, my name is Ed from Principia Prep. Thank you for watching today's video.